Dear Adriana, tell us about your organization and main activities.
Yes, so I'm working in UN Environment Program. This is a UN voice in the UN system, and we are developing scientific knowledge that supports governments, private sector, civil society to protect the environment, the planet. In this, we support governments in elaborating policies, in creating new business models, and of course civil society embracing the environmental protection. Within UNEP, we have this great initiative called г-жой Global Opportunities for Sustainable Development Goals. This is a global initiative. We are working in 5 regions, and basically we are focusing in 3 areas: policy coherence, supporting private sector, in particular SMEs, and the third one on youth empowerment for sustainable lifestyles. The idea of г-жой is in creating partnerships, scaling up implementation and action. So we don't develop new tools, we don't develop new guidelines. What we do is scale up implementation and bring in global partnerships to create regional solutions. We say that we connect the dots. Yeah? In this case, for example, we are working with governments. I say policy coherence. The idea here is to say, okay, how can they, in their policies in climate change or biodiversity, also bring the aspect of sustainable consumption and production, the need in changing our lifestyles and the need of using better our resources in a more efficient way. One concrete example is we are creating capacity development in reducing food waste in 4 regions. So we do capacity development in governments, in measuring that, and then develop strategies on how to reduce food waste and how to promote more sustainable food system. The second area with SMEs, small medium enterprises, private sector. The idea is to help them also with new knowledge, with innovation, but also in tools so that they can access financing, so that they can embrace sustainable consumption, production, innovation, circular economy, and have more sustainable products and services, right? And then they are part of this big transition. And the third one with young people is to empower them, that their voices can be heard, empower them in embracing sustainable lifestyles. And here is where the work with universities becomes very important, in how to then provide the new mindset of students, but also the enabling conditions. So that's basically what we do.
Thank you. How do you contribute to sustainable development of universities and their transition to sustainable lifestyle?
Yeah, so we work very closely with universities. They are one of our key partners. We have regional and global networks with universities, and as a matter of fact, we are here in Almaty with the Deutsche Kasach University, working with 20 universities in Central Asia, so that's one example. But we work with universities in 3 main areas. The first one is we provide knowledge. So we in UNEP, we develop a lot of different tools that, as I say, г-жой, we don't develop, we offer them and scale them up, so we have different things to offer. First, for example, is a module on sustainable lifestyles. It's an online module, free, 3 hours, that everybody can access and understands better what is sustainable lifestyles. And for example, universities can have it and offer to the students. Other one is we do in social media challenges, and we invite young people to participate. We just launched that now during the World Environment Day, my Sustainable Living Challenge, that I know you are part of it. And here the idea is also to first explain what is sustainable lifestyle, why is this important, but then also is an action, is learning by doing, because then students will be encouraged, or students, teachers, anybody who participates is encouraged then to take action and show how they are changing their lifestyles, and they have to put photos and they can share with the other participants. My Sustainable Living Challenge is something that we are just launching now, and what we want is to expand it and give it to universities so that they can take ownership and maybe later tailor to their own context and reality. So that's something also that is we want to strengthen the partnership with universities. And then another area in the knowledge is we create a lot of research and toolkits that can help. For example, we have developed the policy framework for sustainable lifestyles. And there we talk about what are the enabling policies that will enhance sustainable lifestyles. We have done academic research also on understanding what is lifestyles, and because it's a complex aspect, so from the academic's perspective to see, okay, what are the different frameworks to understand what shapes our way of living, and in this case you will find that it's about psychology, it's about economy, culture, social aspect, geography, etc. So it's quite complex, and it's an area where we need a lot of support from universities in doing more research and also identifying what are possible solutions that are adapted to different realities. So that's the one on knowledge. The second area is encouraging exchange of knowledge, exchange of best practices, motivating universities in taking action, and then networking with others. In this regard, for example, we have a toolkit, it's called Green Nudges for Universities, that universities can adapt in their own campus to encourage students to adapt sustainable lifestyles. So what we have done in different regions, for example in Latin America and the Caribbean, was to offer this toolkit to a university network that has over 300 universities, and they themselves started to do the green nudges in the universities, but then we motivate them to exchange the best practices, their experience, and then we compile all the experience. And we have invited them to share that knowledge here in Central Asia with the different universities that we are here. Then we also encourage global and regional conferences with universities where they can exchange knowledge. And the third one is we work also directly with young people, with students, with the youth organizations, so that they are also the main agents of change. Sometimes they don't need to wait for the government, for the university or the teacher to do change, so them themselves can start doing that. So we work closely with them, and we have, as a matter of fact, the Sustainable License Youth Academy, and this is with a module, and the young people have helped in creating the module and participating, and so that's another way of working with them.
How do you think which university can be called sustainable?
Okay, someone told me something that I like. They say a green university is not green because it has a lot of truth. So for us, for me, is a green university has to have two essential actions. First is they bring the knowledge of environment, the scientific knowledge, the new approaches of environment, sustainable development, and they are teaching that in the curricula. So in the formal education, you can see that it's integrated. There are different levels. You have universities that they start and say, okay, now I'm offering a class of environment. That's a good start. What we want later is that environment is a cross-cutting aspect, and is shown in the different disciplines that they will learn about sustainability or environment in the economic faculty, or in the law, in the biology, different, so that it's transversal, and we understand that environment is crucial for any discipline, including politics, international relationships. So that's one important track. So knowledge and providing that scientific knowledge, understanding approaches environment. The second one is talk the walk. So green universities also that in their own campuses they are bringing this environmental aspect, when they have recycling schemes, when they start promoting non-motorized mobility, they offer parking for universities, when they have renewable energy, so that they teach by example and have a green campus. Yeah.
And the last question, you are in Central Asia for the first time, and you participated at our regional festival. What did you like most about Central Asian universities?
Oh, wow. Here I can say more than 10 things. So first, the people. So I think it was really very nice for me to learn more about the culture. What I see and I like was the people and their interests that I have seen in really the commitment to be part of this change towards sustainability, protecting the planet. The universities, I'm very impressed to learn how many they are already becoming green campuses or sustainable universities in the both areas, in the green campus and also in the teaching, so that was a very positive surprise. And I would say the third one, not only the university, but is the surrounding of this beautiful region with the mountains and of course the green Almaty city that I think is very sustainable. So I would say that, and to learn more about the culture. I learned a lot, and it came a lot in the discussions how the culture is important for sustainable lifestyles. And for example, being in Central Asia would be interesting to explore how this nomad culture and ethnic culture could bring to embracing more sustainable lifestyle.